Welcome to today's episode of Your Business Story. My name is Kristin Spencer. I am the ghostwriting copywriter and the big boss lady at Literary Symmetry. And today we are going to talk about why you shouldn't even think about trying to find new clients until you watch this video. Let's do it. In this episode, I'm going to tell you about the 3 personality adjustments that you need to make so that you can finally reach the high-ticket clients you want with your offer. The first thing I want to share with you is that if you don't embrace who you are as a business owner, you are going to actually hate your business, which you started because you love, right? Getting into business with someone is entering into a relationship. And when I first met my husband, he said he had been working really hard to change his personality so that he would be less weird. He felt like he was overly weird. And he didn't think that with that personality, he would ever be able to find someone to share his life with. And business owners do this a lot, right? Where we're like, oh, well, I have to change who I am, or I'm never going to get to work with the kind of people that I want to work with. And usually when we say that, we mean I will never get a rich client. But not all people who have wealth are created equally, and they have different personalities, and that's important to remember. So the truth is, I didn't want my husband less weird. His weirdness matched my weirdness, and I didn't even know that that was what I was looking for, but it was, and it was a delightful find for me. So before I share about the best way to embrace yourself as you enter business relationships, I'd love to hear from you. What personality shifts have you tried before when it comes to your business or personal life? And did those shifts work? Comment and let me know. So what piece was my husband missing when we met? Well, in this one area where he wanted to change his personality, he lacked confidence. If you aren't confident as a business owner, you won't be able to be yourself when you go into business meetings, when you show up online, or when you attend networking events. And that leads us to the second personality adjustment that I want us to cover today. So I want you to know next that it will be exhausting to pretend to be who you think your clients want you to be. And I don't want you to be exhausted, because if you are, it's going to lead to burnout and you won't be able to do the amazing professional superpower that you perform every day to help others, right? I don't want that for you. And so I was talking with my friend the other day at coffee, and we were talking about business and working with different kinds of people. And she's like, but when someone offers to give you money, how can you tell them no? And I was like, honestly, how could I tell them yes, right? Remember when I said that working with someone in your business is entering into a relationship? Well, there are people I just simply don't want to be in a relationship with, and that's why I make sure to show up as my authentic self when I'm online or during networking meetings, or I'm talking to a potential dream client of mine. Because if someone doesn't like my personality, that's fine. They're allowed not to like my personality, but that's honestly not someone that I want to work with. I'm going to tell you the truth about why it's exhausting to be who you think your client wants you to be. But before that, make sure you go ahead and subscribe or follow. Click on that button, because I'm putting videos out like this every single week. So why shouldn't you pretend? Because if you pretend to be someone different in order to get that client, you will have to keep pretending to keep that client. And a lot of the people that I've worked with find out fast that if you alter your personality to get someone to hire you, usually they aren't someone that's fun for you to work with. And this one shift, this one maybe dishonest change in your personality can transform what you love to do into something you actually hate. So make sure you don't pretend, be your authentic self. And now we're going to tie everything together, because as you know, I love symmetry, with the truth about how to attract people you love working with. So when I first started as a ghostwriter, I made one huge mistake twice. I'm being transparent with you, right? We all go through struggles when we're learning how to do what our business superpower is. And I would let the assistance of people hire me, because when you work with people who have a lot of money, they usually don't do all the interviews, right? They pay someone else to better allocate their time, to expand their time, to interview people. So their assistants, I did this twice, like I said, both really loved me and realized I could write something amazing for their bosses. But then I realized a pattern emerging as I was working with these two different professionals. And just because I was able to connect with a person's assistant didn't mean that I would actually connect with them, and I was writing their story and working with them directly. So I ended up having to actually fire 2 clients because even though their assistant thought I was amazing, the actual clients kept second guessing everything I did, and it felt horrible. One time I let this person hire me, and then I realized, oh, I'm working with her on her husband's book. This should be interesting. And that was one of those clients that I actually ended up learning my lesson from, because the wife was delightful and I loved her and she understood everything I was doing, because I have a system. I have a system for everything. And as you get to know me better, you will learn not to be surprised by that. But the problem was I was running her husband's manuscript through my system and then rewriting huge chunks of it. That's why they hired me as a ghostwriter. But he didn't like the changes I made, even when I would point out exactly why I was making that change and how he had confused the reader by avoiding this detail or neglecting this branch of the story arc, or when a character would do one thing that didn't actually seem realistic. And he would write me these gnarly notes back in this document. And I know his wife saw him. And like when I would talk to her, she would be like, yeah, I'm really sorry. I understand what you're doing, but he doesn't like it this way. He doesn't feel like it sounds like him. Like when I would just add any kind of descriptive element, he would delete it. And I was like, this book is not going to be good. So when you don't show up as yourself, or someone else doesn't show up as themselves, right? Because this wife was representing her husband in a way that showed him as someone who was flexible and willing to make changes to fix his book. But when I actually started working with him, he wasn't flexible. She was flexible. She wanted the changes, but he wasn't. And that made things miserable for me. And that's why I ended up not being able to work with them, because the changes that I made kept getting deleted. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of their money. They also didn't want it. Like at some point they stopped paying me, because when someone stops paying you, you send it to collections and you walk away. That's just a little nugget of business wisdom for you. If you haven't been there yet, it will happen. It's unavoidable. It's not your fault. But don't stay stuck in a situation where someone's holding money over you because you are a hostage to that payment. You're not. You can go find someone else using this video who will actually appreciate you for who you are and be excited for all that you bring to the project. So now, I don't let assistants hire me. If their boss wants me to write for them, they need to talk to me and see if they like me on their own. Otherwise, we are all going to be in for a long and bumpy ride, which is not what I want. And honestly, it's not worth taking money from someone to have that kind of experience for me at this point in my life. So next time you're wondering how to find clients you love working with, make sure that you think about how you show up and how the client perceives you, so that everything matches and that everything is compatible. That's what you should do before you try to work with any other client. And next time you want to know how to tell your business story with confidence in an authentic way that brings you clients you love working with, check out my free masterclass linked below, so that you can share what you do with confidence and create a compelling story that builds know, like, and trust every single time. Thanks for tuning in. I believe in you. Be your authentic self. And remember, your business story matters.